Friends, it's T-Man and I'm back and I'm gonna do a little educational video here because I was looking for this and I couldn't find it last time. So I'm excuse me. So I'm gonna do an educational video on this PubMed report here. Yeah, NCBI, whatever. All right, exercise-induced muscle damage and adaptation. So as you know, in lifting, a novel unaccustomed exercise has been shown to result in temporary what? Repairable skeletal muscle damage. See that? They didn't say trained muscles. I bet you're wondering why trained muscles, they don't get damaged anymore. Well, they're going to tell you in this report. They explain everything in here actually. They explain it quite well. After exhaustive endurance exercise, muscle damage can be pronounced by metabolic disturbances associated with ischemia. Yes, ischemia. Extensive disruption of muscle fibers also occurs after relatively short-term eccentric exercise where high mechanical forces are generated. Well, definitely high mechanical forces. I would say, yeah, that's basically what it is, yeah. Okay, mechanical, especially cables. Cables is mechanical. That causes a lot of it. Biopsies taken after repetitive eccentric muscle actions have revealed broadening, streaming, and at times total disruption of Z discs. Muscles that develop active tension eccentrically also become sore loose. Inherent force production capabilities. So low force production capabilities. You lose force production doing a lot of eccentric movements, and show a marked release of muscle proteins into the circulation. Because creatine is found after exclusive in muscle tissue, it is mostly common plasma marker of muscle damage. It is it's a marker of muscle damage, okay. But you wouldn't know that. It's the clinical signs that you know that you got muscle damage. Okay. Despite the universal use of CK as a marker, several factors with regard to influx of clearance remain unexplained. Also, the large inter-subject variability in response to exercise complicates its interpretation. Damage progresses in the post-exercise period before tissues are repaired. Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. However, the mechanism to explain exercise-induced muscle damage and repair is not well defined. Well, they pretty much understand it. It's not well defined, but it's defined. Among the factors that may influence the damage and repair processes are calcium, lysosome, connective tissue, free radicals, energy sources, and whatever, skeletal muscle myofibrillar proteins. Physical conditioning also results in an adaptation. Now here, this is where you get no more damage and you're not building any more muscles. Physical conditioning, you're conditioning yourself. Physical conditioning results in an adaptation such that all indicators of damage are reduced following repeated bouts of exercise. So we know without damage, there's no more growth. There's no more donation of nuclei, a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Recent investigators have suggested that the prophylactic effect of training may be due to performance of a single initial exercise bout. Following a second bout of exercise performed 1 to 6 weeks after the first bout, this is a reduction in morphological alterations. Yes, this is in the beginning phases. There's a reduction in morphological alterations, no more alterations, and performance decrements and profoundly reduced elevation of plasma CK levels. Yes. So you're not building anything anymore. Several hypotheses have been presented to explain the repeated bout or rapid training effect. Well, that's really simple. You want to know why you're not getting damaged anymore? Because stress susceptible fibers may be eliminated, or susceptible areas within a fiber may undergo necrosis and then regenerate. They do. They go through a necrosis and then they regenerate how? Stronger. These regenerative fibers, along with the adaptations in the connective tissue, may provide greater resistance to further assault. So they're resistant to further assault getting damaged, and you can't grow any more muscles. Muscles grow through muscle damage. That's what they're explaining here. That's how do muscles adapt? How do they adapt from getting damaged? I'm not talking about from growing. They don't. How do they adapt in growth? They adapt in growth when they're damaged. But how do they protect themselves from any more damage? They adapt by repairing and remodeling stronger so that they don't get damaged anymore, so that they're what? What does it say here at the bottom? So that may provide greater resistance to further assault. Get it, dude? That's why. Okay, so they told you here, unaccustomed exercise has been shown. So unaccustomed exercise, data is not trained muscles. All right. So a unique...
According to NCBI, a unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers.
Yeah, and then they never get it again. What does that look like? Well, I brought it up before. So it's in this section right here, nuclei acquired. It looks like this. There you go, untrained, like I just read to you. Untrained, first training, satellite cell fusion, hypertrophy. See that? It reached the ceiling limit now. It's called a myonuclear domain limit. There's no, it's the progenitor cannot donate any more extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth of that domain. There you go. That's it. It's over. There's no more muscle. It's called newbie gains. You call it newbie gains, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I don't care what you want to call it.
According to NCBI, while concentric contractions initiate movements, eccentric contractions slow or stop them. A unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers.
Yeah, it's the stopping, the slowing and stopping of the muscle that causes, in that contraction, that causes the muscles to break, to damage, to get injured. You understand me? There's no more growth there. You're just wasting your time. But you can get sarcoplasmic growth. Definitely, you can grow sarcoplasmic muscles, these artificial muscles. So anyways, that's what I was trying to explain to you. That's why. And here's another problem why it's protected. It's also protected.
According to PubMed, the repeated bout effect refers to the adaptation whereby a single bout of eccentric exercise protects against muscle damage from subsequent eccentric bouts. While the mechanism for this adaptation is poorly understood, there have been significant recent advances in the understanding of this phenomenon.
Yeah, that's from NCBI. So you are protected. You are not damaging muscles. You are not building muscles. If they're not damaged, they're not building. And they don't get damaged when muscles are trained muscles do not get damaged. Conditioned and trained muscles do not get damaged. And you wouldn't want to get damaged because it would hinder your performance like a lifting slave in the gym. You don't want to hinder your performance. You definitely don't want that. You don't want to hinder your performance in any exhibition or some fucking freak shit that you're doing out there. So you don't want to hinder your performance, but if you don't want to hinder your performance, you can't grow any muscles because you can't. If you get damaged, it'll hinder your performance. So you don't want to get damaged, so you don't want to build any more muscle. So there you go. So you have to figure out, you want to be a lifting slave, a gym slave in a gym, or do you want to build muscles? See what I mean? Now, I'm not saying you can't get over these things like repeated bout effect. You can't get these muscles to damage and try to push that domain, but it becomes harder and harder the stronger you get physically. I'm not talking about lifting a stupid heavy weight off the floor. The stronger your muscles get physically, the harder it gets to damage them because they get stronger. Get it? That's how you get stronger. Now, I'm going to see you in the next video, man. I don't know what else to fucking say there because you're going to get really crazy people on here. They're going to try to, they're always constantly trying to knock some shit, whatever. I'm just tired of it. But that's how muscles, they get damaged. Let's see what a unique feature of muscles are.
According to NCBI, a unique feature of eccentric exercise is that untrained subjects become stiff and sore the day afterwards because of damage to muscle fibers.
No, we want unfamiliar. A unfamiliar unfamiliar forms of unique feature. Sorry, unfamiliar forms of oh fuck man, I keep screwing this up all the time. What can unfamiliar eccentric muscle loading increase? However, unaccustomed exercise, muscle damage delayed. Yes, delayed onset muscle.
According to Physiopedia, exercise-induced muscle damage, EIMD, this often occurs when an athlete participates in a new or unfamiliar exercise, when learning new techniques, or experiences an increase in the volume or intensity of exercise. This can lead to short-term performance decrements due to changes in the makeup of the muscles.
This is probably one of the most important things you will ever read. What they're trying to tell you is that you can be a trained athlete, but you can learn new techniques, and you can do things that you're unfamiliar with, an exercise that you're unfamiliar with, and you'll get a new adaptation. That's how you get a new adaptation. See what it says? It says this often occurs when an athlete, they're talking about an athlete, but then they say unfamiliar. How can he be unfamiliar if he's an athlete? He's trained, isn't he? Because he participated in a new or unfamiliar exercise, and that will get him a new fucking adaptation, broski. Get it? When learning new techniques or experiences an increase in the volume of intensity exercise, this can lead to short-term performance decrements due to what? Changes in the makeup of the muscles. Exercise-induced muscle damage training. That's what exercise-induced muscle damage training is based on. It's based on doing unfamiliar forms or new techniques. Get it? You understand me? Unaccustomed exercise, or you being untrained doing that exercise, so that you can get damage and then you can get an adaptation in muscle growth. You understand me, man? I should post this again in my channel, but whatever. Because people, they're just really out to lunch sometimes. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Tell me what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. See you in the next one. I hope that helped. I don't know. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. I don't know, man.